Yeah.
And also this guy, what's his name? Ike Slim Star. He also made a video where he's like, you go on a first date as a tall guy.
Like, so what are your hobbies?
6 foot.
Like, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do for
6 foot?
Oh my God, I feel a connection. I feel like
6 foot. And it doesn't matter what the girl is saying. 6 foot. Everything you have to respond. She's like, what's your name? 6 foot. What do you do? 6 foot. How's it going, Ibra? How's it going? How you doing today?
Doing all right.
Welcome everyone back to it again. Think Talk episode 22. And today, I think we have a lot of exciting stuff to discuss today. It's been an eventful week, but from our perspective, it's not that much that has happened that warrants us to go over a lot of social commentary and all that stuff. Yeah. But nevertheless, we have exciting things for us today, and I cannot wait to get into it, Ibra. I think to start with, I'm happy for us to go through something social commentary related. It's a little bit, for me, I find it fun to discuss. I know that this is something serious to a lot of people, but I'm just curious. I think this happened last week. Burna Boy was performing in Lagos, Nigeria, and there was a fan rushing towards Burna Boy. So this fan was rushing towards him, and Burna Boy literally saw him coming, stepped back. Yeah. The moment the guy dove to touch him, he kicked him. The fan flew off the stage, and Burna Boy decided that he was not going to continue with his performance. This has caused a bit of uproar here and there, and a lot of people have started talking about how maybe Burna Boy does not care about his day one fan bases, so the Nigerians that support him from the beginning and all that stuff. What are your thoughts?
When I first saw the video, right, I was also sort of angry. I thought why does he usually do this to his Nigerian fans? Because then the video that I watched actually was now comparing to, I think it was in Netherlands or something like that like an European fan when did the same thing apparently, and he gave him a hug, and that for me was now I don't know. But aside that, in his defense, I wanted to because I remember we had this conversation. I was I was pissed and all. Then he sort of gave an unofficial statement, I think on an Instagram story, where he said he has PTSD. And I'm like,
PTSD from what?
Because it happened to him before. I think something like that. And knowing Burna Boy, knowing his affiliations and everything, it makes sense that he might think someone is after his life, or to hurt him, or to really. And when you think about it from that angle, I felt okay, I see a different reason now, but it still doesn't then really add up when you're now comparing it to when you're doing it in Nigeria. Do you think they just want to hurt you in Nigeria, and which will still be the case if he's still feeling like someone is gunning for him, right? It will most likely probably be a local incident if it's to happen. I don't know how to think or what to make out of this whole situation when he said, I do have PTSD and it's real, and I was quite trapped. And I saw a part where he looked super shocked, he looked super, and from his angle you can really feel you don't know. It's the same reason why people like footballers, for example, anyone trying to move them, coming to the pitch, all these field invasions and all, you really can tell people's intentions, and that's why I'm you know what? I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm actually on the same page as you on this one. In the first instance, I agree. It felt okay, what's going on? But when I watched the video, I actually saw that he was a bit scared.
Yeah.
You could see it from his face, and I can understand. Given some of his affiliation in Nigeria, as you mentioned, there might be a genuine reason for him to be worried. Yeah. And if that's the case, you can never be too careful. That's one part. The part that I have another question on has to do with the fact that he then decided not to continue his performance even after the threat has been quenched. Now, his claim was he was already a bit shaken up.
He was traumatized.
This was his claim. But it's also not the first time that Burna Boy would do something less than optimal to his Nigerian fan base when he performs in Nigeria. Either he comes super late, which he never does when he's outside Nigeria, or he comes and he doesn't deliver as much as you would hope. It seems to be a little bit harsher on his Nigerian audience. It doesn't seem like he treats Nigerian fans as if I'm hosting my fans that I love. It comes off as if he's doing them a favor. Of course, he has worked out to get to where he has gotten to, and I appreciate what he does in that instance. But I have to be honest with you, I don't know. Burna Boy definitely won't miss me in any of his performances because they are always sold out. But I don't feel as eager to go to a Burna Boy show as I felt, say, 4 years ago, because I just don't feel the shared respect. I'll give another incident that has been coming up lately. So basically, Burna Boy was in another show, I think 2-3 days ago.
But if I go this way and this thing come on the go house, and I will die. Because this don't call me like 5 times already.
Where he basically told the organizer, if something happens again, I'll lie, I'm not going to continue performing
Publicly.
Yeah, he had the mic on and he just told them, that fire, if he come up, they burn me. If he will lie, they come out, I no go continue again, you know? And it feels to me like he places his Nigerian fan base in a particular level that is slightly below the fan base that actually sees him outside Nigeria. And I understand, most of the shows that he's doing in Nigeria, they are free, there's no money involved. But I guess because it's free, the fact that he does that also means that he knows that they are somehow important to his career as well. But I just don't feel like there's that shared respect. The interesting thing is that most of the people watching him abroad as well, it's a bunch of Nigerians. A lot of, like, when you go to a Burna Boy show, of course you find people from every country in the world, but it's also still majorly Nigerians, you know? It's the same with what you see when Speed Darlington said something about Burna Boy threw him in jail. And now Cubana Chief Priest and Burna Boy, they're going back and forth on Instagram. You know, it's that separation on how they deal with people.
You said something about he's doing the shows because he still feels like this somehow adds to his repertoire or something. Like, I don't think he sees. I think that's the major difference. It doesn't feel like that.
I don't mean that it adds to his repertoire. I mean that he sees his Nigerian fan base as still important. So you know how they say Ajo that bile ile loma padasi. Imagine Burna Boy being super big abroad, and every time he goes back to Nigeria, no one gives a fuck.
No, I don't think he sees this like that.
Like, I feel like he would feel very unsafe if he loses Nigerian fan base.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe
because
from that point.
if suddenly his audience drops abroad, which can happen very easily and very quickly, there is a fan base that will always connect with him.
Do you think someone who cares would act like this? If you care, I think you would definitely act differently. So for me, I'm seeing someone who doesn't really give a just like, I'm just doing this as a charity, as a corporate social responsibility, you know?
You know, his time is very valuable. He can spend that time elsewhere. It could be that he doesn't care, but his team, his management knows why the Nigerian fan base is required, and they tell him you have to do that. But he's not happy to do it anyway, so he does anyhow. And knowing the Nigerian fan base, they won't leave him. Everything that has happened now, I'm pretty sure when he goes back again next year, it will still shut down anyway. But I think there is a reason that he's doing it, and it has nothing to do with charity, because if you're giving someone a gift
and it's not coming from your heart,
you see, there's an incentive for him to do it, and it has nothing to do with just sharing joy. So what could it be? Worst case scenario, they look at the statistics of listeners that puts him on top of the chart on Apple Music and Spotify, and they see that Nigeria, or people in Nigeria, they are number 3. Right, so UK, US, and they still see that Nigeria means something. It's like it's the foundation of his popularity. But because money is not coming from him, it doesn't feel like it's worth his time. But they tell him this is the foundation.
I mean, I feel like a real smart guy at the top, like knowing that it might not be a direct source of income, but it's still something, an indirect, valuable asset in a way. But I don't think he's benefiting.
Burna is a talented guy. But if you take a look at his career in general, he has done too many things that shows you that he's very impulsive. Like, if you would profile Burna Boy, you would include impulsive in his character trait. Like him waving a gun back then, with the South African stuff, fighting with the Ghanaian people, even though he was there, he needed them. They were friends with AKA, with Shatawale and stuff like that. He is impulsive. Like, if you put that into account, I think he needs the Nigerian fan base. Doesn't like the Nigerian fan base as much because they don't make shit for him. But it's the foundation that pushes him out there. We're still his biggest mouthpiece. To be honest, it's difficult when you get to the level of Burna Boy. I have nothing against him, and I wish him all the best as he continues to grow. I wish him all the best, more money, more success, a lot of wisdom. Because when you look at what's going on with Cubana Chief Priest as well, for someone of his caliber, sometimes I find it very unnecessary for people at a particular point. I think there's this very popular saying that if you fight with, say you're a human being, if you fight with a pig, whether you win or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying Cubana Chief Priest is a pig or anything in this instance. He's a billionaire as well. It's just they make their money from different routes. They have different level of clout in society. Yeah. Cubana Chief Priest is a businessman doing his thing. We don't know, but Burna Boy is a public figure at a different level. He's an international, global public figure. He shouldn't be doing these things. Like, he's posting all those things on Instagram, right? Look at the type of people following Burna Boy on Instagram. Let's paint a picture. Ed Sheeran wakes up and he looks at his friend, Burna Boy just made a post. And it's... Do you get what I'm saying? Like, these people that don't even understand all this that connects through Burna Boy. They wake up and they open Instagram story of Burna Boy, hoping to see maybe a stage performance or some studio session, and they see him typing about, I bought a car, you can't feed your brother or whatever.
Yeah, for me, I saw the whole thing, I'm just like, you know what? I think it's working for them because, not for them, for Burna Boy. I think this is like the biggest controversy has been in, like, recently, because this is like really big than him and Davido, in my opinion, because that for me is already stale. But like, this is like fresh and it's like a new perspective. And I'm like, well, if he needs the cloud, he should go for the cloud, because I don't see any reason why you should be doing this. Why, you are making all these allegations. And this, for me, I believe is a genuine beef, like compared to like all these other ones between Whiskey and Davido, the top 30 thing. But this, for me, I just don't see any other angle to it than two egotistic people just, trying to flex muscle on who is bigger, who is richer. I see all these things, I'm like,
Can you even define, because it has to do with money. For me, it's almost childish. But one thing that I'm thinking about is I believe that probably it started real, but there are incentives to keep it going now. I think they both like the fame that it's bringing. So I think when two celebrities fight, it will never be real to me. Do you know what I mean? Because they fight in public. They post these things on Instagram stories. If you really want to fight, you know where they live. Go there and punch each other out, whatever. When you bring it to the public and all your responses through the public and all that stuff, it can never be real to me. They probably don't like each other, but the point of fighting in public now doesn't do anything other than give them attention. I don't know if this makes sense.
Nah, I know what you're saying, but I don't believe that is true. Have you been involved in any public encounter with anyone?
I've never been involved.
I've never gotten into a lot of fights, but like the one time, and this was in high school, the one time that I really got physical with another guy, for me, it was more about the fact that now we are in public eyes. If he had done that like one-on-one, like we were leaving school, we're on our way home, I would have been like, okay, cool, you know what? I'm just gonna let it slide. But this was like everyone was there. We were the center of attention and it was coming for me, and I thought I needed to defend. Like there was no other way. I felt like losing, but not backing out was a bigger win for me at that point.
But then you're in physical danger. You're in physical danger there. My problem is with this Twitter finger or Instagram finger thing. You're in physical danger there. For someone at their level, of their clout, billionaires in their currency and all that stuff. Yeah. They are not in physical danger and they get on the phone. You think so? I like, it might have started with annoyance, but at this point, Burna Boy literally went to give his cousin $30,000 just to,
I'm so grateful. Like, I don't feel this now.
They probably don't like each other. No. It probably started with a lot of annoyance as well. But when I saw Burna Boy when he was giving the brother, the self-proclaimed brother, and he was giving him the money, Burna Boy was actually sounding very mature and calm, no anger, nothing. Which meant that in giving that money as well, he wanted to show a particular image. That I'm not giving this out of annoyance. It was literally saying we should put the video somewhere.
Be the thing. I mean, that will make me happy. Don't be the one way you come prove everybody right. See, now why?
When I was telling the guy, say, go open that shop now. It go make me happy. Okay, now, all right. Yeah, I'm telling you, this was how Burna Boy gave the guy the money. The actions that we now see, this extended back and forth, is solely for attention. It has nothing to do with the hatred they have for each other now. That's the point that I'm making. Because now they are really acting. They are very careful how we see their actions. Now, Cubana Chief Priest himself have also said that, that guy that Burna Boy kicked, please help me find him. I have millions to give him.
You know, for me, what I'm waiting for that particular moment. If that happens where Cubana Chief Priest is able to get Happy out of jail, I think that would really hurt Burna Boy's ego.
You said that as well.
Really,
like,
he said on Monday,
let's see power for power.
Yeah,
but it should be easy because that guy is illegally in prison.
Yeah, but that would hurt Burna Boy.
You know how in our tribe they will say "Teri meji banja ile lo manje." In this case, so basically when two elephants fight, the ground suffers. Yeah. But in this case, two elephants are fighting, but the ground is blooming. Millionaires flying left and right, and potentially Speed Darlington out of prison.
I think he will get him out. Yeah,
I hope he does because he's illegally in prison. The next topic, let's talk a little bit about the New Year resolutions. Right, I'm curious as to your thoughts about it. It's a new year. Today we're actually shooting on the 5th of January, and one thing that is usually common when we get into a new year is that people make New Year resolutions. Yeah. So things that they probably want to stop from the previous year, things that they want to do in the new year, things that they want to achieve, and so on and so on. For example, I want to improve my wellness and my fitness goal. And what you would normally see is that from the 1st of January, the gym is super packed until, when the motivation of being in a new year drops off. What are your thoughts about New Year resolution? Do you do it? Do you have any New Year resolution that you would like to share with our fans and me as well?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it depends on the person. Let me not say the kind of person. It depends on individual, right? It definitely works. I mean, after we decided that we're going to put this on the pod, I'm not sure on what platform, but I saw on their Instagram, I think Yahoo News or something like that. And they came up with this report that 60% of the people end up sticking with it. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's more than half. Because I also feel like it definitely is a review period. And I think we all need sort of this review period in anything we do, right? And if the new year is the time for you to reflect, I think that's still something. It doesn't mean you would come up with these things or you would do these things that you say you will do, but there has to be a point in everyone's lives where you have to look back and reflect. And if it's the last 365 days, I definitely believe, even though you look back, you feel like, oh man, I didn't do this, or this is what I want to do in like the coming year or this year because I didn't do them last year. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. And I think people should have them. I don't necessarily have any like written down goals or like resolution. I mean, I do have goals, but like it's not particularly associated to like, because it's January 1st that it has to be, my goals are like my goals, you know? So, but my New Year resolution that I feel like, this year is something that I would like to really improve would be like, my sleeping habit and my eating habit. Not because I don't eat healthy, it's still not healthy. Like I don't eat junk food. Like I'm not really into that. I'm not like craving them. Most importantly, my breakfast. I would really love to start having breakfast because I know when I do have breakfast, I have a better day, right? But for some reason, I don't really have appetite like very early in the morning and I have to keep things going. And I sort of just skip it. And I want to try to solve that. And I've made a lot of improvements last year also. So it's not like this year is the year I break it. I've come really far from like eating really unhealthy than, like that. I feel like I'm closer to that. So that would be that for me. What about you?
Yeah, so I'm on the same page with you that if you need it, then you should do it. Personally, New Year is just one day to the other for me. We can as well just start counting from 1 to 10 million in everyone's year, and it doesn't make a difference for me. Because, well, in any case, I would do a review that I need to on activities that I've planned to do, and I try to be as disciplined as possible for things that are important to me. There are things that are important to me, but for some reason I'm not that disciplined because the level of importance, I know it, but it hasn't hit me yet, which is quite unfortunate, right? So I don't necessarily have a New Year resolution, but I do have, for example, similar things to what you mentioned. I do have things that I'm battling with the discipline to be consistent on, which the number one on that list is sleeping healthy, sleeping well enough. I'm super, super terrible at doing that, and I really hope that I get better with doing that. Also, breakfast, I never have the appetite, which is why I just eat super late. But I know that when I'm on work trips, I always have breakfast at 7 or 6, late 6 a.m. before rushing to the client's office. And I realize that it's very helpful. So when I'm in hotels, I do eat breakfast, because hotel breakfast, all the light stuff that you need is all prepared for you.
I mean, now that you're talking about it, I feel like there's a huge correlation here, no? Because I mean, it's the same thing that I'm experiencing, right? And I feel like, shouldn't it be then that if you sleep healthy, if you sleep well, let's say you go to bed like 10 p.m., you should already feel like you want to be awake by 6 a.m. And you don't have to start your day or like at least your activities by 8, 9 a.m. You should then be able to have breakfast before. But because then we sleep late, then you wake late, then your appetite doesn't kick in until like 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. or something. So like if the sleep could be early, long, and then the appetite should be there, because it's not like I wouldn't be able to eat. It's that I just need to kick off things already before the appetite sets in.
You're right. I think sleeping early will probably improve our breakfast appetite. One thing that I'm not sure about is being able to sleep early. It's a very tricky one because the schedule that sometimes I'm not fully in control of my schedule.
Yeah.
So I would work and then work super late, and then I still want to make sure that I go to the gym, and it's almost a question of, do you want to sleep early or sacrifice the gym? I'm still waiting for a doctor to tell me which one, like if you have to choose between the two, which one to choose. But also I think the other thing is availability. Like when I'm in hotels, I don't know. When I go for work trips, I sleep quite late as well. But because I know that I have to get up early anyways, somehow the availability of certain things, because when I say I don't have breakfast as well, I can quickly have orange juice, Yeah. So the fact that when you're in a hotel, you go down, you already have this breakfast buffet, or you can at least ask the catering for a quick French toast, very nicely made with salmon and
you have to wake up early for that. Because mostly by like 10 a.m. it's done. You won't have it.
Bro, like when I'm on work trips, I have to be at the client's office around 8, which means I need to do breakfast around 6:30, 7, and then take the taxi to the client's office. So I do wake up quite early and I still eat breakfast, because I also know that when I'm at the client's office, I probably don't have lunch and then I only have dinner. So I really need to get something in before going there. But yeah, I do hope that we can achieve to an extent improvement on those things this year. I'm also hoping that part of if we would have a new resolution, it would be to improve the quality of content that we're putting out there, and keep putting out a lot of fun stuff, improve our technological equipments as well, and we keep going so that we can engage you guys as much as possible. But yeah, there will be a lot coming from us this year, so yeah, look out for that and keep following and
keep it locked.
Yeah, stay locked in. I feel like this year will be much more exciting than the last year. This one is an interesting one, and we're going to go into the adult content creation industry. Today we're going to be focusing on a mini expose on OnlyFans. OnlyFans. When you hear OnlyFans, what do you think, Ibra?
You
He said prostitution.
What?
That's an interesting perspective, yeah. But let's give a little bit of a background, yeah. So OnlyFans, I think it's a platform, it's a content creation platform that was created in 2019. So it's been around for a bit already, but it became even more popular during COVID. It rose super fast, doubled in, so the number of users doubled overnight during COVID. And I think now OnlyFans has over 320 million subscribers, like users in general. Yeah. Over 320 million users, which is mental when you think about it. I don't know if has a statistics on how many people are on there, but because OnlyFans is a subscription-based content creation platform, over 320 million users. What are your thoughts on this? And why do you think it rose so fast during COVID? Like during the pandemic, there was even about a 75% increase in signups month on month. So basically just probably fastest growing social media platform, content creation platform at that time. Why do you think that happened?
Yeah, the number is a lot. That's like a proper, it's not even a startup anymore. I think that's a proper company now. And why it increased that much during COVID, I think it's clear, right? People still want to go about their shenanigans, but they couldn't do that because of because of the lockdown, right? And they had to find a way to do that. I'm not really surprised with the growth or the success of like OnlyFans. I think what we are saying now is the independence of prostitution and adult industry, if that makes sense. Like everything that OnlyFans is doing now has been existing since the early 2000s, since the like when internet has been like really a thing, right? It's called like cam girls or cam videos and stuff like that. So you have like a bunch of all these different sites that does that, but they were quite underground. It was like mainstream, and there were a lot of legal things around them in terms of like, are they doing it willingly? Are they forced to do it? And it was quite shady back then. I think OnlyFans as a content creation website gave this freedom of, you don't need a pimp, you don't need anyone, because like I said, for me, prostitution came to mind. And yeah, you can just be your own business lady or business guy, whatever you want to do, and just switch on your ring lights, just register, and you're good to go.
So it's some sort of democratized this content creation niche.
Exactly. For the adult industry.
One thing that is interesting is that OnlyFans did not even market itself as an adult industry content creation platform. They marketed themselves as, we want to give content creators full control to make their own money. So basically so instead of saying I'm a movie creator or whatever, and I'm subscribed to a platform that then decides how much they give me, right? So let's say the way YouTube has their own content creation platform now, you basically subscribe, you pay for YouTube Premium or whatever, and YouTube, or you pay for advert, and YouTube then distributes money to the creators. So OnlyFans basically sold themselves as, we're not going to do that middleman thing. Yeah. Your fans are going to come to you directly. And I think what happened during COVID was that, you're right, everyone was locked down. People wanted to find a way to make money, and sells, right? So a lot of ladies realized that they could sell one thing or the other on the internet and make a shitload of money from it. Yeah, at least that was the wish that everyone had in mind. Yeah, we're going to sell something and we'll make a shitload of money from it. Didn't pan out like this for everyone that is on OnlyFans, but that was the motivation. This was what drove them. And somehow it just rose and rose and rose, and now it's practically unstoppable, right? Before even getting into whether it's good or bad, let's discuss a little bit about money. All right, so how much money is going through OnlyFans? Yeah, and I think this is an interesting one. Actually, before we go into money, there is a platform that I want to mention. It's called Social Rise. We found all the statistics that we are mentioning on this pod on Social Rise. They have a lot of statistics about OnlyFans, But I read through the platform and it seems like they provide services to creators on OnlyFans to become popular. So they provide advice and all that stuff. So we can, to an extent, try to trust this because I guess they're experts on OnlyFans. But to put out a disclaimer as well, I have to say that we don't know if these statistics are 100% true because the numbers vary from website to website or from source to source. Because we don't have directly from OnlyFans, the company. Nevertheless, the variance is not enough it's not so much that we cannot put out what's on this website as well. Yeah. So the first thing that I would like to call out is that we already mentioned over 300 million users on OnlyFans. I'll make it a game for you. Yeah. Are you ready? So I'll throw out some questions, see if you will get close. Now we have over 305 million users on OnlyFans. How many of those users do you think are creators?
1 million.
Bro, you're so far. I mean, 1 million is interesting, yeah. So out of 305 million, you think we have 1 million creators? You're not correct in this case. Like to give you, OnlyFans got almost 1 million new creators in 2023 alone.
Wow. Okay.
If you do the math and think they started in 2019, became popular in 2020. And in 2023, when they had already gotten a lot of popularity, they got 1 million new creators. You can do the math. Now we're in 2025. I mean, basically, this started from 2024. So
yeah. So then that would be, let's say roughly 10 million then.
Okay. Now you're too far off. It's about 4.5 million accounts. So they have over 4 million creators. Now, out of these 4 million creators, OnlyFans claim, this is now interesting. OnlyFans, they claim that they are not an adult content only, basically. I mean, it's adult content, but they're not a pornography only platform. But if you would say the percentage of these 4 million creators, how many of them do you think will be doing pornography?
4 million of them. Bro, I can't help it, man. Like, what else is there to go see, man? What has anyone seen on OnlyFans that is not graphic?
That's what I found interesting as well. So apparently, only about 70 to 80% of the creators are doing which is a huge number. I say only about because I was surprised as well that it's not 100%. Apparently, there are people on OnlyFans. So the categories that are also popular on OnlyFans is fitness, wellness, and it will show when I mention it, it's fitness, it's wellness, it's cooking, it's yoga and stuff like that.
I would like go on OnlyFans to cook.
Musicians and artists, yeah.
Okay.
And I think this social right, I'm assuming they are being smart with this categorization.
Exactly.
When
100%.
you think about what fitness post even on Instagram now, when you
what
see a
means.
fitness post, what does it look like? Exactly. Fitness post and yoga, like yoga people doing yoga. I guess now we should be even more concerned because now I see those other categorization of they don't.
Yeah.
80% are literally
the same.
And then the other ones are putting a little bit of a twist. It's a yoga pant with a big camel toe and bending and bending and bending.
Yeah.
That's my assumption. Yeah. Anyways, there are, according to this platform, there are people doing other things and cooking. I guess they're cooking in very raunchy clothes. We see it's on Instagram actually, where they're cooking and then they're like, bending in very funny ways and stuff like that.
I've seen real estate agents that you can't even tell if she's a or a real estate agent because it's like just creating content and it's so adult-like and you're like, are you trying to sell me a house or trying to bang me? There's a lady like that. She's in Atlanta, by the way. Yeah, she's quite popular.
Yeah, there are many of them. There are many of them. I think everyone is trending on that line to sell one thing or the other. Now, if OnlyFans has 4+ million creators, how many of those creators do you think are women? Yeah, you can give it in percentage.
I would say 80%. I should be right.
Yeah, 84% of the creators are women. And then you have other creators identifying as men. and then also the non-gendered people. So the OnlyFans is actually working to boost the diversity of the platform.
I don't want to say, man. I feel like, you're definitely right. When it comes to the categorization, they are really, really intentional about that, because I feel like the moment they go off rails and they admit or they accept to be categorized as an adult industry, like, platform, then there will be a different legal battles that they will be in. But the moment they keep struggling to make it like, no, this is just the content. It's not different from YouTube. This is just what is most apparent on the platform. But that's not what we do. I think they have to keep it that way to be able to make as much profit or to get away with a lot of things as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you think about OnlyFans, right? What do you think would be top 3 countries where people use OnlyFans?
I can definitely say top 2. US would be number 1. And I think UK should be number 2. I don't know. Like the third one, Brazil.
They're only just growing in Brazil. As for now, it's mostly English-speaking Western countries. So it's the US, the UK, Canada, and then Australia coming in 4th. Yeah, which is very interesting. When you look at the similarity in the culture of these countries, it's very interesting to think about. Yeah, because it has to do with how free and how open they are about and stuff like that. So now this is an interesting statistics. You mentioned signing up, you mentioned the legality and all that stuff. Yeah? When you think about people signing up on OnlyFans, what's the percentage of sign-up requests that you think they accept on average?
What do you mean by sign-up request? So you have to request to sign up?
Yeah. When people sign up on OnlyFans, it's not instant. It has to be approved. Right?
What the hell is going on with this guy, man? They are quite strategic, man. I'll give it to them. And they are something
They have a
else,
verification process.
Okay.
And not everybody that tries to sign up actually gets approved. What's the success percentage rate, if you would guess?
I don't know. I'll still say 90%, maybe more.
This one was surprising to me. And yes, if you look at it from the incentive perspective, that why would they reject a lot of people when it's not a university admission, whatever. Yeah. But their acceptance rate is about 30-something%.
No, I don't believe that. There's no way I'm buying that. Never.
When I saw it, I was surprised. I wouldn't lie to you. I saw it and I'm thinking, wow, it's difficult to get on OnlyFans. My guess was that they reject a lot of people that are underage, which speaks to a different problem that a lot of underage people would like to join. Do you know what I mean? If they reject a lot of underage, that means there's so many underage people, because then what are the other criteria that they use in their verification process? Right? That was what got me curious. Like, what are the other things that they potentially use in the verification process that makes it difficult for people to come in? Right? Yeah. So they have an email verification, and then there's an ID verification process. And I'm thinking maybe they are
for creators or for everyone.
For creators now. Yeah, this is just for creators. I think to sign up as a user,
as an end user. Oh, okay. Now I get. Okay. Because I thought if I just want to go there and just watch some, like why would you reject me? If I'm going there to subscribe, exactly. Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
This is simply for creators.
For creators. Okay.
So they have the email verification, they have the ID verification, and they have the bank verification. So I can imagine that it's either a lot of young people who are trying to register, or a lot of people that are in countries that OnlyFans do not operate in yet legally, that want to register and they don't have the right ID documentation. Because I don't think you can just open OnlyFans from any country, because there's a lot of legal issues regarding that. Or people that want to be part of OnlyFans, but they thought they could do it without putting down their true information. You can imagine someone wanting to be secretly on OnlyFans, and OnlyFans asking for your driver's license. You would probably make it blurry or something, and then they reject you. Yeah. So I was just trying to make sense of that statistics of rejection. So I had a look at that verification information. Yeah. We already know the statistics on male and female as well. Now let's talk about the money. Yeah. This one will be very interesting for you. What do you think the average earning on OnlyFans is for female and for male?
I mean, with these girls coming out and claiming, I made this per annum, I would say per month, female creators are making like $10 million.
Average. They have over 4 million creators, average of $10 million. On average, women are making $180 a month, and men are making $150 a month.
Oh, on the average, okay.
I know why this is confusing. 30%. So the
I
amount
thought like
according
the
to Social
total
Rise.
earning per month, that's the average I was calculating, like revenue for them.
Oh, no. For OnlyFans, they're making much more. They only take 20% of the earnings of the creator, right? This is how OnlyFans make money. OnlyFans make much more. They make billions of dollars a year. What is interesting is that OnlyFans, they market this opportunity to be extremely wealthy. They sell the idea that if you join OnlyFans, your life is going to change. And when you look at the demographic data of people participating in OnlyFans, which generation do you think fills up OnlyFans the most? Gen Z, Millennial, Boomers, Gen X?
I think obviously it should be Gen Z.
Exactly. And Gen Z, they are very open to the idea of making, money very quickly. So I think people from the age 18 to 24 or something, about 30+% of the users on this platform, of the creators on this platform. So Gen Z is packed there. They are sold the idea that if you become a part of OnlyFans, you can actually make it into the way you make money for it. When I looked at the statistics, a lot of money goes through that platform because it's not just the subscription, it's the tips, it's the this, it's the that.
The tokens, I know.
Yeah, exactly. And I think OnlyFans is money going through OnlyFans per year is over $6 billion, which about 60% of that is happening in the US. Now, this is interesting, but there's a huge discrepancy in how that's distributed. And that's what makes that average so little, such that the average OnlyFans user, in best case scenario, can use it as a side hustle to pay their phone bill or their internet bill. The best case scenario. Because 1% of OnlyFans creator makes over 30% of the money on OnlyFans. 1%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the 10% of OnlyFans creators make over 70% of the money on OnlyFans. The remaining 90% have to do with the 30% left, right? But about 50% of OnlyFans users...
Users or creators?
Creators.
The creators, okay.
I'm making about zero. Sorry. So when you look at that stat, and when you look at the idea of what they sell, and when you look at how much, when you go on Instagram now, there's so much content that is OnlyFans advert. It's almost as if everyone on OnlyFans, if this is an American and they are cooking in a funny way, if this is an American and they are walking on the street in a funny way, just check the bio. Right? There is an OnlyFans link. When you see the number of people doing that, I'm sort of thinking OnlyFans is probably becoming a front. I say I have OnlyFans, but I actually visit people. I go to Dubai. It's almost like I use OnlyFans as a front.
Exactly.
Yeah,
my
because
point.
the stats are showing something funny that I can have an OnlyFans account. I might be making just $400, but my lifestyle shows that I'm making $50,000 because I'm actually doing prostitution. And I see why it's big in the US. Prostitution is illegal in the US too. Right? Soliciting sex for money is actually a crime in the US as opposed to Europe. So in Europe, I don't need a front like OnlyFans to say this is where I make my money from.
This is what I do, yeah.
But in the US, you probably need a front.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most of the money is coming from because the top 1% of users, you can already guess, they are mostly celebrities or ex-celebrities. Yeah, so people that already had a fan base.
I know, like Black China.
Black China.
What's this girl's name? Amber Rose. Those were like the
Amber Rose,
the initial users that really pushed it until they had to ban. Have they banned it? I think TikTok or Instagram banned posting your OnlyFans link directly. Now all they do now is like this Linktree platform where you can now then put your OnlyFans on it. But yeah, because they had to stop it. It was becoming like a menace where they had, it's like a spam site now. So they are just redirecting traffic from Instagram to like OnlyFans, and that would have hurt Instagram.
I see. That's interesting. Yeah, because that was interesting. Yeah, it was a lot. It's still a lot out there, but only about 300 OnlyFans creators make up to $1 million a year. A year. Only about 300 of the 4 million plus makes up to $1 million a year. But in the top 20 or 30, they are smashing it out of the box. They are making Black China made a very bold claim that I can never believe. There's only fans sitting in front of me and telling me Black China made that much. I will tell them it's a lie. She made a claim that she was making $20 million a month. And people did their math and said, well, if we assume that she makes that from subscription every month, then she made about $240 million. Not long after she actually closed her account on OnlyFans. So Black China is no longer on OnlyFans, by the way.
Yeah, because she turned to Christ.
Oh, that's it.
She goes by a different name now, a full name. She changed.
Yeah.
She's no more Black. I'm not with my phone. You can Google her new name now. You'll be surprised. She's like a holy. She's a church girl now. What the fuck? She's not.
Maybe she really made that money then. Yeah, maybe she really made that money. Okay, but anyways, she said $240 million. You cannot convince me in any way that that's true. I cannot believe it.
I can't.
Because then the next, what's the difference between Black China and Amber Rose or Iggy Azalea? Because then the next person, Cardi B or something, was like $40 million or 47.
I think they really use them. They really use them to promote. I remember like back then when OnlyFans started becoming mainstream. These were the top 4 people. I didn't even know Iggy was there, but like Amber Rose, Black China and Cardi B.
Unfortunately, Iggy did not blow very quickly. Her page actually grew gradually. I don't think she was posting sex stuff. She was posting behind the scene video, music video, because Tyga is on that platform as well and some other guys. But they are posting more, the parties that phones are not allowed to be taken in. Because Tyga is throwing a party. Everyone already submitted their phone.
Watching another dude having fun, man, bro. Wow.
If you're a fan, I can imagine that it might be exciting to you to see what they're doing there. But what's most interesting is that most of the top 1% earner are celebrity earners. But then there are also some non-celebrity earners that became quite successful on OnlyFans, like Bad Barbie and all that stuff. And they will claim that they make whatever amount of money. That lady that became popular recently, saying that she made some crazy amount of money on
40 million per year.
Yeah, I don't see her on any of these platforms. I'm not seeing her on the Social Rise. I'm not seeing her on Statista. I think even the people collecting data on OnlyFans, they did not believe her because I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
I mean, since it's really difficult to fact check, it could also just be like the newest marketing strategy right now. People will be like curious to be like, what is she posting? Why did she make that much? And she start getting the buzz. She would definitely be making more than she was after making such claim. 100%.
Exactly, I agree with you. And then you have non-celebrity guys saying, like for example, they say there's one here. I don't even want to mention their name, but anyways, there's a bunch of them, male non-celebrities and all that stuff, making money, but I cannot believe the figures coming out of there because some of those figures are quite crazy. And even if we say we believe it, many of them were celebrities that already had a fan base and then they pulled the fan base in. A lot of people are closing their accounts. Cardi B is an interesting one. She only posted 6 videos on OnlyFans, but she didn't close her account and somehow people are still subscribing. I think OnlyFans might be even manipulating the subscriber count. That if you have subscribed and even though you stopped paying, they don't reduce it for some users. Because how has Cardi B posted only 6 times since 2021 or 2022 and somehow she still has millions of subscribers
now? Is subscription the same as followers on OnlyFans?
No, subscription is actually paying that subscription fee per month.
Yeah.
Like $11 per month or something. So Cardi B is not saying she's coming back. She hasn't posted it for a long time. She only posted 6 videos in total. No full thing as well. Just some back-end video shoot and all that stuff.
Yeah. I feel like definitely even OnlyFans, I mean, they have every incentive to be, to make all these numbers, to inflate these numbers just so they can entice new and like up and coming creators for them to believe they can also make that much and all. But yeah, I don't see all these numbers being true, man. Maybe they have. I mean, they definitely will be true for some people, like you say, like the 1% of like the old creators. But that's really low. If 1% account for almost 90% of the earnings.
The distribution is mental. And keep in mind, most of these people on that top end of the funnel, they were ex-celebrities that already had a fan base to bring. They had money to market themselves. They had money to put out quality content. One thing that I'm a little bit wondering is, what about this as a money laundering scheme? When they make this claim, then they will have to back it up with tax payment.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it must be that there's a dirty money that needs to be cleaned. They will pay the tax on it, and now it's clean. And then they can claim any figure, because it's very difficult to believe. But then also you see a lot of quote unquote successful OnlyFans creators on the internet today. And you wonder, we're just seeing only that top 1 to 10%, or there are also people in that in the 50 percentile, 58th percentile that are also using OnlyFans as a front for actual. There's not much that we can say. We can assume, we can make assumptions, we can contemplate, but it's fine. Now we know the stats. Everyone knows as well now what's there. My question to you now is, what do you think OnlyFans as a platform does to society, given the demography and all that stuff?
Well, I don't see any good that it's doing. You could argue that, we are just moving to the technology era. This has always been, but now it's making it happen at a very crazy pace. It's really accelerating the rate at which we consume or we indulge in all these vices, right? I see it harming like the future generations, not necessarily us, maybe Gen Beta, Gen Z. I see a lot of people with insecure body, a lot of people wanting quick scheme, money making ideas like OnlyFans. I don't necessarily see any good that it's. The only good that I would say is, okay, it can then maybe make countries like the US be able to indirectly participate in prostitution, and that might
market.
Yeah, and that might reduce the rate of like illegal entry in the sense of like people being forced to do it, people against their will and stuff. So it gives them like this barrier of entry, like opener, like, you can just do it, just get a camera and a ring light, and you don't need to go through any man or any.
It sort of makes it safer, right?
Exactly. So they are protected in a way. They can really then, because we can't get rid of it, but I know for sure it will accelerate the rate at which this is going to happen, and that's a problem, definitely.
Yeah, and it's such a complicated one, right? Because we know prostitution, pornography will always exist, whether it's underground or legally. And somehow OnlyFans democratizes that, maybe even empowers the creators a little bit, or the participants a little bit. It's just that it also contributes to a rapid, as you mentioned, rapid decadence of societal and culture and morals. And I'm not a moral police, honestly. I think if you are having sexual activities and all that stuff, all well and good for you and all that. What I'm a little bit concerned about is that I think there should be a bit of decorum on who gets to see or participate in our private parts. And if somehow we move into a society that none of that matters, it also makes it a society that is maybe unsafe. Because I can give an example. There's some very sick people out there that they do not have the line in their head. And then they expect that, I see you on OnlyFans, it means I can touch you in a particular way. Or like, not everyone has gotten to the point where they will say she's just a content creator, she still deserves all the respect she needs and all that. Yeah? And we can make the argument that pushing OnlyFans further will help to change that narrative on the other side. But still, I'm torn in between whether it's empowerment or exploitation. And this democratization of prostitution also makes it easy for people to get in. And I cannot imagine that their verification process. I mean, we talked about it once before, that there is a potential that people now have agencies and help people to get on OnlyFans and prepare them, invest in them to make them popular on OnlyFans. Who's to say that these people are not helping underage girls and boys get through that verification process?
For me, I feel like that's the biggest challenge. Now that you talked about that, I feel like if I'm to say one major problem that I see OnlyFans like contributing to the world, or like, yeah, it would be the fact that the dream that it sells to creators, the idea of it being this thing that can give you financial freedom. And that's the most dangerous. If you know for sure, like, oh, I'm going to fail anyways or whatever, if people know for sure that just 10% can actually have that, people just probably maybe consume. The idea of in mass people thinking they can create, that is a problem. Because that's wiring people in a different way of like, oh, I'm just going to go there and show up myself also. And these are things that are supposed to be private. And I think if people are on a large scale thinking in that direction due to this platform and the dream that it sells, that is a problem.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a big issue. There's also another consideration that even though it's democratizing pornography and prostitution or whatever, and it gives a lot of freedom to the creators, it seems like one of the most competitive creation platform out there, even more competitive than YouTube.
Yeah.
More competitive than TikTok. And when you think about YouTube and TikTok, it already has a huge strain, or Facebook or Instagram. The strain on the mental health is big. Now think about the mental health impact of a platform like OnlyFans. Because this is like, if you get on OnlyFans and you don't blow, Jesus.
Yeah, it will definitely hit you because you are the product. Unlike TikTok, unlike YouTube, where you actually have a content that is an extension of yourself. It's probably like some skill set that you think you have or some ideas that you want to share. But this is just you.
But even the platform itself being so competitive, another mental health question. And then when you talk about the economics of attention. So let's say I get on OnlyFans. I'm successful month 1. I do everything, bam, bam, bam. And then I got subscribers month 1. I made $1 million. I don't want this to stop next month. Before the month runs out, I see that people are already unsubscribing. Now I want to push the boundary. The idea of that economics of attention has made some OnlyFans creators go to particular lengths that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There was one that went spring break to a university.
And yes, I'm the girl that wants to sleep with as many spring breakers as possible. So if you haven't already been added to my very special list, then please drop me a message or come and say hi by the pool.
And just basically booked a room and said any student, any male student that wants to have sex, they should message her. And she ended up having sex with hundreds of university students in one weekend, something like this.
I think I saw that. Was it not the same one that wanted to do 1,000 after the 100?
That was 1,000 men in one day.
Yeah.
And I watched the video. They set it up for her. I'm pretty sure she has a team. And this is again that incentive that there's an agency now that thought this was a good idea. They sold it to the girl. She said, yes, I'll do it. And I remember watching a video of her in tears after she has done it.
Do you even process, do you think, what's happened?
Not yet. God, I won't forget this day, Jesus.
When I decided to start making this documentary, I wasn't too sure of what to expect. I certainly didn't expect to see Lily so upset at the end of it all. I thought perhaps in years to come she may look back at this day in sadness, but not so instantly afterwards.
Yeah, she was talking about it. She's saying she will never do it, and now she's breaking down. The mental breakdown did not even it did not have to come 20 years later. It was so instant. This is what people are doing to themselves today because of the economic of attention. Every time I think about the model of OnlyFans, every time I think about it, I just keep looking into the income instability. There will be mental. There's just so much you can do with sex. Yeah, there's so much you can do. And this is again an activity that one Jehovah Witness as my door, you have lost a subscriber. Like people literally wake up with the resolution of, I want to stop.
Exactly.
So basically, there's so much working against you being able to retain your subscriber. Exactly. And it has nothing to do with the quality of your content. And this is why itself is a very boring thing. They have all these stars doing exactly the same storyline. And now you have a platform that is not based on adverts, that is now based on subscription. Who wants to do that?
How have we gotten to a point in society where this is actually normal? I'm imagining myself as a lady and I feel like, damn, life is hard. Man, OnlyFans should be the next thing on my agenda. I really need to. How have we made this make sense?
It's very simple. When you look at the demographic, my assumption, okay? This is my assumption. When you look at the demographic, when we grew up, millennials and all that stuff, there was still a lot of communal shame, societal child upbringing, almost in every country in the world. Today, Gen Zs, they grew up with a lot more acceptance and freedom. So the shame that you think will come off I'm on OnlyFans, it's not the same for a 19-year-old today. They don't see it the way we see it. So look at it. If I'm 19 this year, it must mean that I probably didn't even have a phone when OnlyFans started. So I'm basically growing up into a life where OnlyFans just exist. And some of their mothers are doing it. Some of their fathers are doing it. I'm just coming into a life where OnlyFans exist. And in the bid to be lenient towards children, people just let them do what they feel like doing.
I actually saw a video like that. I'm not sure if you saw that. Like the lady was recording her pops and she was telling her pops like, Dad, you know what? I just created my OnlyFans account, and he was supporting her. I'm not sure if he was like, yeah, you go for it. Like, I support you.
I haven't seen that video, but I've seen many. There's this particular OnlyFans creator that I see on Instagram. Our old geek is discussing our OnlyFans career with her younger brother. And sometimes the boy is coming and, he's literally acting. He's a good actor as well. He's sometimes crying like, oh, my friends in school, what are you doing this to me for?
They think I'm not a good sister.
I get like bullied, but not like bullied, like punched at, but people just say shit and that pisses me off. And like, I just wish I stopped because whatever you're doing here affects me at North Carolina. It's nothing.
And she'll be like, but I bought you. Okay, what do you want? Like, let me buy you that stuff or whatever. So if the brother is so involved in our content creation lifestyle, I'm pretty sure their parents are as well. Yeah. She bought the parents a house. Yeah. And this is the equivalent of the Yahoo boys back in the day in Nigeria as well, where, because now Yahoo has taken a different turn. But I remember back in the days where if they hear that you're doing Yahoo, you're going to church, you're going to mosque, everyone is praying, probably even calling a police officer that is a family member to threaten the child. And what they used back then was to quickly move their parents into a new house or buying a car for their parents. And I think that's happened a lot with OnlyFans creators that became successful as well. I don't know how long they'll push it for. And this is why I strongly believe that OnlyFans is involved in making sure that they continue to look attractive.
Yeah. I don't think it's sustainable. I'll just put this out there. I'm like,
10 years from now, I don't, 10 years from now, I don't expect it to exist. I understand the one, and people have a lot of very shady ads. That's how they make their money, right? The and the Brazers with their exclusive content. I keep mentioning this. I hope I'm not marketing them as well, but I mean, we're all adults here.
I don't think they need any marketing, bro. Your marketing. They need any marketing. They don't. It's like the 6th most visited website in the world, bro. What are you talking about? In the world.
Oh my goodness. But what is the future? I know you mentioned already that you do not think that this is sustainable. What is the future of content creation in general? Do you think sex will continue to sell like this? Do you think it's a subscription-based model like the one OnlyFans is doing? Or do you think advertisement is still the way to make money on these platforms? Or do you think what Twitch, YouTube, and the rest are doing is the future of content creation? Because basically when I say that, it's because it's not direct payment to the creator. On Twitch as well, I think you have to pay. You have to subscribe on Twitch. Or are you subscribing and paying directly to the creator on Twitch?
No, they're not paying directly.
Exactly. And then Twitch pays their creator, right? Yeah. What do you think is the future?
I mean, it's called the publishing platform. So where like YouTube has Google AdSense and all these platforms has their own ways. But I feel like that's definitely the future. That's definitely much more sustainable. That takes away a lot of hassles, a lot of pain, a lot of unstable income. Yeah, for the financial part of that, I think that would definitely work a lot more. we have like Patreons and all also that does something similar to what OnlyFans is doing, like for communities and stuff, but nothing sexual. But they can't really be as big as like big techs like Facebook and like Google, right? I'm not sure if you are also asking like the future of the whole thing or just the financial part. But if you're asking like what does the future look like for like OnlyFans? Like I said, I don't see it as a sustainable model. I think definitely they would adapt. It's very difficult for a company as huge as that right now to fail. They will struggle with changes here and there, but they would definitely adapt to like what they think would now work. Maybe they will cancel the subscription also and go to the publishing side of like monetization and all. But yeah, I don't see people paying a lot of like monthly subscription for like 10 years. And at some point, you have, like you said, you're fighting against a lot of other forces, right? Like, I don't think a lot of people also paying money on OnlyFans subscription where they want to be in life, I would assume. I might be wrong, but I would assume like if your life is really going on well, paying subscription on OnlyFans would never be on the list of, oh, my life is going well. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, exactly. So like people get married, people get older, people actually get involved with women in real life. And I also feel like at some point, the community, society will start coming out a little bit more saying, no, this is not right what we're doing.
100%.
And you're right. OnlyFans as a platform will pivot. I can see them opening a brother platform and say, or a sister platform and say, this is the non-adult version. And maybe OnlyFans still exist, but it will just exist like Cam Girl and the rest that you mentioned.
Bro, I'm already seeing like a crazy idea of what the future might look like in terms of adult related content that we are pushing. It's on every platform. It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. I believe in like 100 years from now, maybe even less, we would have a platform that is like zero tolerance for nudity, right? Where women would dress up. You know, this, I used to find it really attractive. I still do, but you just don't see that as often anymore. Like a decent corporate dress with a skirt, with like, you know, these things, you just find it hot.
On Instagram as well, if you make one mistake, if you do the mistake of looking at an on Instagram, your For You page is destroyed forever.
It's
before you have to turn into...
Not forever, actually. But yeah, yeah, I know. Before you can
fix it, but before you can fix it. And when you look at one mathematics stuff, it doesn't change anything. But if you look at... If you do the mistake of entering Instagram and stare at an for 30 seconds.
Just go to your explore page is dead. Ass boobs.
It's dead.
Boobs.
I had this mistake recently. I'm not even following none of these people. So I had to tell Instagram, not interested in this, not interested in
That's
this.
the way.
So now it's back to spot.
Yeah.
But now I have to be even more careful. If I scroll through something, I'm looking at reels and I see someone almost wanting to bend down in a funny way. I'm off, you know, because it will just mess everything up.
Yeah.
But I think it can only sell for so long. But maybe I'm wrong because, I mean, I was at Pompeii recently and I saw like their poof house back in before Christ. Because Pompeii, this city Pompeii in Italy, actually went under the ash, the volcanic ash and all that stuff in 79 AD. So it must be that that city itself existed even during and before Christ. So we went there. If you see the excitement in the face of the tour guide, she was like, this one, we are sure, the archaeologists said it, but we're absolutely sure that this was a poof house because when you see the setup, it's just rooms with beds. And then on the walls, they had like paintings of different styles. So our explanation of that was that because people from different countries and different parts of the world will come to Pompeii at that time, they don't have to speak the language. Yeah, there's a universal language here. So basically you point to a woman and you point to a star. Star. To an image that I want that star. But every style you can think of that you think might be modern now. Bro, I don't know if I can say it. Bro, nothing new. Our great grandmom bent down.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think they were also quite liberal about it. And, you know, like even in the Greek mythologies and stuff, you see like this huggy kind of
Yeah, and-
stuff, like, you know, like
Exactly.
yeah.
And you know, Pompeii is like Roman Empire and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, their bedrooms, the wealthy people, their bedrooms were so small and all that stuff. And the tour guide basically said, well, it's small because they really don't spend time there. They had like, I forgot the name of this area in their house. Let's call it the living room. But the way it's set up, it's like, you know, sofas where you don't sit down. You are laid down, someone is massaging your leg, and you know, it's like the whole vibe, and I'm like, I see what they're doing. So I say this because I just want to say, maybe we are wrong. Maybe this sexual content will continue to fly, because as people get older, there are also young people filling in that gap of the 18 to 28 or 27-year-old as well, that are still super fresh and thinking about sex, like, you know, the way you think. But you can also make the claim that maybe now that it's even more democratized, and with the digital devices that we have in our hands, we'll have a situation like what you described, that people actually just get desensitized so early. And now we'll have more people not even interested in women. I think it all plays together. But anyways, I don't want to get into the depth of this other one that I just mentioned. Not interested in women and all that stuff. That's it on the OnlyFans stuff. Let us know if you enjoyed this mini expose on OnlyFans, and maybe we can find another platform like TikTok, YouTube, or any other thing to do something similar. Find out the statistics about it. That might be interesting. I have a game for you. Not a game. It's a question between the two of us. I want us to rank something. Do you know how women have things that they appreciate in men? Right? I think men also have things that they appreciate in women. But for a man, if you can choose one thing to have, right? So basically, this is one thing you have, and the goal is that it should get you women, or get you women's attention. What is the one thing that will always win? But I don't want it to be one thing. I'll give you a list of things, and I want you to rank them. I think all these things will work, but the order of their impact in you getting that attention, I'm curious to see what you say. So we have one, having a very fit gym body. So yeah, just someone that is super fit, gym body. Yeah. Two is having a lot of money. This is not whether you can show it or not, but you have the money.
Yeah.
Three is having a very pretty face, like you're very handsome. And four, you're tall. So you have the height, 6 foot, 6 feet. So let's say you're like 6'5". If you order them in the order that they impact your ability to garner women's attention, what would be your order?
It would definitely be, for me, money has to be number one, no other way. Second one, that would be height. That I just recently, if you asked me this last year, I would be like money, then gym body, then height, then looks. But right now, I would say money, height, gym body, and the looks.
Why have you ranked it in this order before I give you my own?
Okay, I feel like there's no other way to look at it, right? Money is like very, very important, and like it can influence things and people. It can really give good quality life and experiences. So money would definitely make up for every other, the other three. If you don't have them, it won't replace them, but it will, you will still get your way with women in that sense, or at least get this attraction and all, because people know you have it, right? So, but then with that comes with the height, because women really love, like, tall men, obviously. It's also like the hypergamy thing, right? Like, I think men who are even broke would really have success with women, right? So, it carries a lot of weight. And the third one, being the gym body, I feel like, of course, when you look good with a very, like a 6'4" height with money, bro, the fourth one for me is just, it's never even important as a man. When someone is like, oh, I would find it quite insulting if a girl looks at me and be like, oh, you're so cute, you're so handsome. I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be like, nah, because it exudes this sort of femininity that I feel like men don't really need to. I mean, if that's the only thing you have, you would get your ways like with women. But that's never important to getting women. So that's why it's like number 4. What about you?
That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, for me, my ranking is a bit different. For me, number 1 is height. And I think you would have assumed that I would come with this height, because for me, I think height speaks to a different part of a woman. See, money is man-made, but height feels like protection to them. Yeah, when you look at lions, the bigger the mane, the more protective it feels, the more attractive it feels. And I think that's the part that height actually speaks to in a woman. And I will say this. Height, a woman can be big, a woman can be small. But on average, men are taller than women. So nature already made a choice there. The taller you can be, like the more the gap can be, I think the more attractive it is to women. Yeah. So I can imagine that a very tall guy that is broke will get a lot of women. You can now make the argument, are those women going to stay with him?
And what if he's still fat?
Even fat. I'm telling you, if he's tall enough, his presence will just create this uneasiness that I think is supernatural. They don't even have control over it. There's this tall guy in the US. I forgot his name now. He's like 6'8" or 6'7".
I know the guy.
He's always walking around. He'll be standing on the street like this.
Well, he has gym board and he looks good. So he has the other two. So
and he has money and you can, he has everything. But I think his height is what gets their attention. And the reason, that's why when I told you that money, you can have money and not be able to show it right. And with women, now you are still in the situation where you have to find a way to show that you have money. And that's where you have guys having to go into the first date with a car key, having to spray in clubs.
Yeah.
Because they have the money, but no one knows what's in their bank account. Yeah. So now they have to show it somehow. And that's why they will buy some cars that they don't need. That's why they will buy wristwatches that they don't need. Because money still has to be shown somehow. But height, you have it naturally. It speaks to a natural part of the woman. Yeah. And also this guy, what's his name? Ike Slim Star. He also made a video where he's like, you go on a first date as a tall guy.
Like, so what are your hobbies?
6 foot.
Like, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do for
6 foot?
Oh my God, I feel a connection. I feel like
6 foot.
And it doesn't matter what the girl is saying. 6 foot. Everything you have to respond. She's like, what's your name? 6 foot. What do you do? 6 foot. Do you have money? 6 foot.
I think that's
like, it doesn't matter. Just be tall. Yeah. Now, the next after height is money. Because if you can't get that natural instinct of a very tall guy that you're always looking up to like this. Have you noticed how girls look when they're looking up to someone that they find attractive?
That's the natural part that
you see the dilation in their pupils. You see the dilation. You don't see that with money.
Something happens in the psychic, in the psychological part. When even anyone, even you as a guy, if you are talking to someone and you are looking up, you are surrendering. You are like your brain is automatically telling you this being is above you in a way. Not because,
myself and Enes and I, right? Enes had this friend. We went to the club, and it was just like a quick, unplanned. We went to the club, and this guy, he doesn't really go to the club. He's like 6'4", 6'5". He bought a beer, just a beer that he wasn't even drinking, and he was standing there. He was sleeping off. Right? We got to the club and it was sleeping off. It was dozing. It was like this. Yeah. The music was blasting loud and it was just like this. And what if I tell you that even though he was just doing that, if you see the number of girls that were like, bro, it's unbelievable. They were still tapping him. Do you want a drink? Do you want to? And this guy was sleeping off. They were waking him up like, oh, are you all right? I'm like, this guy has not even seen you. Like, he hasn't seen you. Yeah, he's with a beer that people popping bottles all over the place.
Yeah.
So for me, absolutely number 1. Number 2, money. Number 3, gym body. I think, if you're fit and you're muscular, it sort of gives a sense of safety and protection as well. And maybe it looks good as well in a masculine way. The pretty face works for a guy that maybe you've got pretty face and money, or pretty face plus any of the other things that we mentioned is a big win. But pretty face stand alone is a very tricky one. As you said, it's feminine and it's like, why are we competing for looks? I cannot tell you the amount of girls that I know that are clearly saying, oh, I don't like all these overly fine guys. Almost every woman that I know are claiming that they want their men to be average looking. Yeah. In that sense. And have every other thing. So I would say pretty face is the last one. I mean, our list is not too different. We just swipe height for money.
Yeah.
But bro, I just watched a video of Shits and Gigs as well. James Fuad and Ellis and Rems, they were doing this thing where you stand in the line based on what you believe, right? So the line is strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. And then they asked the question of, is height important for two girls? But like, is height that important to girls? Now, Ellis was in disagree. I don't know if you know Ellis, it's the editor on the Shits and Gigs, the white boy. And Rems was in agree. James and Fuad, they were in strongly agree. I'm mentioning this for one reason. One, when they asked James and Fuad, they were just like, bro, they have been to the US, they have seen things, man. Even though they have money, they look good, they're fit. Those guys with height, they're killing everything. This was what they say, like, bro, they just kill everything. Yeah. But Ellis was in disagree. And one guy in the comment section said, Ellis still has a lot to learn.
He's fighting nature. Bro, you can't fight nature. It's a natural thing.
Bro.
I think it's a natural thing.
And that was funny to me. But anyways, it's not that I'm right or you're wrong. I think what's most common in society is then that everyone uses what they have to get what they want. If you have money, you will then use it. You know, you position yourself in a way that it's easily. And if you have height, you'll be doing like that Mumu guy that's only standing on the street. That guy is a. You know what I'm talking about? That king. The American guy that's always standing on the He's always on everybody's relationship.
He's not even trying to, man. He's just,
Girls will walk away and they're like, like you see someone drop the hand of their, whoever they're working with, holding hands, and they're like, and people come touching him. He's a mumu guy.
I've seen a lady left the guy to talk to him. I was like, let's definitely do something. And she was.
He should be inside. He should be inside. What he's doing is unfair. Good stuff. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoy, and see you all next week. Peace out. Do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And let us know if there are any other exposés or any other question that you would like us to answer. Peace.
You real.